So we're going to be getting match 2 started very shortly. This will be at TVZ, Light versus GoRush. These players did meet back in the 3rd season in one of the group stages, and Light did beat GoRush in the winners. So GoRush our Zerg with SKT Telecom, fantastic record. He is a great player. Light, who has his own great record as well, especially versus Zergs, and he's very formidable in the TVZ. The map will be Loki 2. Fighting. So I'm pretty excited for this one. We've seen a couple different strategies on this map, so I'm interested to see what kind of strategies either player will pull out. So our Red Terran at the 2 o'clock spawn, it would be Light. And our Green Zerg at the 8 o'clock spawn, it will be GoRush. So a couple things to mention about GoRush. He has been been here from the start, meaning that he was participating in tournaments going all the way back to 2000. He did take a bit of break for studying purposes, but he was extremely well known for what we call the game management, which is the idea of controlling the flow of the game, having the right units at the right place. And a lot of people believe that he actually laid the groundwork for Savior, who basically picked it up and became, as people know, one of the bonzas later on, or later on as in like the 2006 days, so a couple years before this. Even though he's not in his prime mode, he's still a formidable player, but considering the fact that Light's play versus Zergs in this current time period, I would definitely favor Light over GoRush. It will be interesting to see if GoRush will utilize the Crazy Zerg we've seen a couple times on this map, and what will Light do to counter that. Now, we do see nothing yet, so it's going to be a hatchery first from GoRush, the Rash opening from Light, pretty standard openings. I'm expecting Light to get a CC after basically doing expand ASAP rather than going up for like a factory count, because bio is something he was known for in the past, so at this point in time, and he has great control as well. So as if he's going out to scout, we can see the direction of the over is very interesting, basically just a little further to the left. The pull is going down as well, and the gas for GoRush. So it looks like he might be going for some kind of a 2-hatch. It's interesting. I would have expected he might get like the 3rd hatchery before the gas, but it looks like he might want to take off faster as well, unless he has some idea for some link shenanigans, but we'll see what he decides to do. And Light does see this. He obviously scouts the gas timing as well, and more than likely he will scout when the lair comes up. And we see the CC on in the expansion for the bottom expansion for Light. So things to go according to his plan. A second Rax going up makes perfect sense. Typically 2-hatch. Usually they will get the second Rax right after the CC comes down. We do see the lair timing. He sees the lair, so it should be it was lair first, and likely speed is being researched very shortly. So it ends up being a 2-hatch. More than likely just the mutas. Again, pros don't typically, or didn't go typically as much lurkers in the past, only because the mutas do allow a certain level of control. Whereas with the lurkers, a lot of the Terrans did have really great control, so they're able to split well enough to negate the damage. Academy is going up now. So Stim followed by Range, the typical. We'll see when Light decides to get his eBay. Now he is doing a great job keeping this SCV alive, but it will be going down very, very shortly, because GoRush is also doing a great job of just cornering it as well. Looks like the drone's in the back now, and I believe that drone in the back is going to get the Spire. Unless he is planning to do it in the expansion. Look like he did it in the expansion. Okay. So yeah, 2 hatch mutas. Now there is a couple of Marines moving out, so but they are scored by the Overlord, so Light will pull back more of a feint or try to clear any links in front of the base. Third hatch is going up, the Academy is done, so Stim should be started very shortly. So the game is pretty standard as far as things go, and we see the gas of the expansion go up about halfway, or go up when the spide's about halfway, so it's again typical. So there is a chance that Light will be pushing out very shortly. He would probably rather not lose this Marine if he doesn't have to. Oh, and it looks like he actually will save it. So that was great from him. Highly doubt he knows about the bottom right expansion, so it's not necessarily a bad idea for GoRush, and he is banking up his money. Now one sunken versus this army, he doesn't have much length, so I mean there is a chance for Light to honestly bust this. And there is a fire back there, so the mirrors are actually being underway. Light can actually bust this if he decided to do it. He has more than enough. The question is, does he actually know about it? It looks like he's actually not going to risk it. Is his eBay up? That's the other question as well. It should be already on the way. It should be ready as well. Okay, so it is ready. Perfect. And that third hatch is scaled by the SCV, so Light has an idea of everything that's going on now. So this does put him in a great position. His turret should be going up now, so there should be enough time to get them up before the mirrors are out. Oh, and the firebat will get caught by GoRush, so that's a minor win for him. Plus the SCV, so that's another win for him as well, but Light is still definitely in a good position. We'll see what GoRush's Muta Micro is like, but there is a very nice turret spread here, honestly. That's a fantastic spread. And there are some Marines to help defend. So Light is kind of locking things down, and he also has an eye on the front as well, where he only has a single turret, so because that single turret won't do much. Third gas is up for GoRush. I expect him to start mining it ASAP. We'll see what he decides to do, if he's going to add a lurker, a Hydrodan, or add the Evo for upgrades, or if he's just going to stick to more and more mutants and get the upgrades, typically +1 armor, which we saw in one of the previous games. So factor going up for Light about 7 minutes, pretty nice timing. And he is up to the 3 racks as well. We see the +1 attack going up as well. So it'll be, hopefully we get a shot of GoRush's main just to see what else he has planned. So that's a little nice snipe on the Marine. A couple more Marine losses, and GoRush just keep his army intact. Seeing as Light only has 3 racks, keep in mind this also means that his production is not as great as like the 5 racks which we had a bit of a period of in the post-Casper era. So he just have to preserve his Marines. And GoRush is taking that in base as well, so it's not a bad idea the way he's playing it. He realizes that Light can't contest this that easily, the bottom right. So his thought is probably to establish the bottom right, and then he always can take the 4th gas in the in base. So playing to the map's advantage, I would say. So both players are still at 0-0. I do expect the +1 to be ready for Light very shortly. So that will make the Marines a lot stronger against the Mulisks. There is a bit more Muse being made. And the +1 armor. Okay, perfect. The drone count is low at that 3rd base as well. But okay, so it looks like he's going to try and engage it. There is quite a bit of mutas here as well, but Light's army is very close by, honestly. So I think he can definitely defend this, but Light should at least try and... okay, so the damage... couple turrets. The biggest damage I would say is the fact that Light had to pull back, so GoRush just have a bit more time to do what he wants. But keep in mind he did manage to stick the SCV, and it looks like GoRush will actually target the expansion here. So Light is going to be running between each one back and forth because there is a huge amount of mutas. Now GoRush is losing a couple of meters, so I don't think this is the best thing, honestly, because Light can just build these turrets. You want to try and keep the mirrors alive even if they can regenerate, and Light's essentially building up his army at this point. He's just building up, he's expanding, probably adding the ports at this point. And seeing the third base and how many drones there are, that does give him an idea of whether how all-in-ish GoRush is, and he even scouts the hive timing as well, so the hive coming in, so that's a great win for him too. I do see his army moving across the map, so that's a great idea. The question is, he does have to make sure he has enough units at home, because if GoRush decides to come back for a backstab, and he doesn't have enough terrace or M&M left behind, he will be in trouble. But that is a huge amount of mirrors, honestly. That is definitely troublesome. So he needs either Valkyries or Irradiate to deal with this amount, although a huge amount of M&M is also great. But keep in mind, the way the map is... the way the architecture of this map does make it a little easier to micro some of the mirrors, especially with the way GoRush is doing it just around the edges there. And this means that Light is going to lose at least 2 more medics, so this puts him in a worse position, and that's still great mirror micro from GoRush. So GoRush looking in a fantastic position. With the hive, he's probably going to be getting the... Oh, but that is a lot of turrets and a nice bunker from Light, so GoRush will turn around. But you can see the mirror count is building up more and more, and these marines are actually in trouble. There is quite a bit of mutas. Now we do see some marines in the back, but these mirrors should be cleaning everything up basically. So this is actually worse for Light now, because now he can't even move out anymore. It feels like it might have been best for him to wait honestly until he gets a couple of vessels and push out, because now his base is exposed. Now there is a lot of turrets here, and he does have a bit of an army at home, so it's not all bad. So the Defiler, then I expect the Defiler and the Ultrask as well. Okay, so it looks like he's actually going for the Lurkers with the Evo, just the +1 armor. Oh, and then with another Evo as well. Oh wow, but that is a beautiful Irradiate. So a lot of those moves are actually in the red now. And Light's army is actually getting bigger as well, so honestly he does have a bit of a chance now, because the Muta count has been whittled down. It makes me wonder what GoRush was playing with his strategy, because he's been going just heavy Mutas, so his upgrades are extremely late. Looks like he was almost going for some kind of an all-in, which wasn't the case as we saw. Now Light does have a bit of an army. Looks like he will catch a couple of the stragglers behind, but there is enough terrace to defend in his main expansion, and that is a beautiful Irradiate as well, and that's going to do massive damage. You can see the Mutas have been whittled down, so this is a great chance for Light now. He can also push the bottom right and actually kill it. I don't believe that the GoRush has that much. He has the Mutas, the Lurkers are just being morphed now, and he does see this basically, so just give him some intel. The question is what he's planning to do. And once those Lurkers finish, it's going to be extremely hard to break, because he will be walking down a ramp into 3 Slunkins with Lurker support. He could try something like a D-Matrix, but it's hard to say just how much that will work. Personally, at this point in time, I would honestly, as bizarre as it sounds, I would love more of an attack on the expansion, because there is enough of an area for him to spread, and we only just saw the single Lurker being morphed, but looks like he's actually dead set on attacking the bottom there. As you can see, there's only 2 Lurkers. He has a great spot for it. Now he will be doing some Irradiates and just actually have full Lurkers, and with a D-Matrix, if he likes, he can definitely switch up the target firing for the Sunkins. And he is on +1/1 right now. So we can see the canal, the Defiler is going up as well. Oh, and he has a great timing as well. But there is quite a bit of Mutas. You see, actually pull the vessels back. And does he have any more Irradiates? That's the question I have. And there is a bit of Mutas too. So it doesn't look like he's going to actually attack just yet. There is a lot of support for GoRush if Light decides to do this. So he is pulling back. It looks like his 2-1 is finished. And we only saw the 1-1 being upgraded now for the Lurkers, so the Light is in a fantastic position upgrade-wise against the ground units, and I believe even against the air units, there's no +1 armor or anything. Now, the thing for GoRush is that he actually did maintain his right base, so he does have the 3rd gas, and his 4th gas is also safe in base, and we haven't seen any dropships yet. It's been just pure vessel from Light. So Light is going to be fighting. Oh, and we do see the drop. Okay. So there is a drop here, and this is exactly what Light needs to do. The army is completely out of position. He's going to be sniping a lot of the mutas as well, kill some of the drones, and the dropships are saved. And keep in mind, the medics do the high. Oh, and he even gets a lot of the mutas as well. So this does set up a chance for Light to attack the front because a lot of the units are out of control, and he does have a couple of tanks. So with a couple of irradiates, he can also just push this with his M&M, and he can actually break this. But GoRush does react faster and pulls his unit back. The question is, GoRush will be walking into a choke against 3 tanks. He doesn't have defilers just yet. He needs to buy some time to get a single defiler out. And you can see, right, it's going for the push. Now, there is quite a bit of lurkers being buried, but this is a nice pullback. And the question is, what do you do as GoRush in this situation? Like, the defiler is out. Does he have consume? Oh, it looks like he has consume as well. Okay, so he has to push back. He has to unsheath ASAP and push his army back. He actually is a bit late on this. He needs to push back. Like, he can't afford to lose these tanks. Okay, so it looks like he feels that there is enough to maneuver around, so he actually goes for the expansion. It's not necessarily a bad idea, but he does need to move his marine just a bit back. And he is targeting the hive, so that would be great for him. That would deny the upgrades, but he should at least... okay, so he's not too badly... Oh, but his army now is stuck there, but I feel like this was still a great situation for Light overall. Oh, and he even gets a drop into the 3rd base and gets his 3rd base. So this is looking better for him. And his army is still there, plus the Spire is down, meaning that there will be no Scourge or Mirrors anymore. And also he can probably walk these Marines up and just kill the hatchery if he wanted to. Wow, it's interesting to see how this game has swung so much into Light's favor just with a couple of well-executed moves. Between the drop in the in base, and it looks like it's going to be dropped again. Now it is a sunken there, but there is going to be a medic here as well. Oh, and the bottom right base is dead, and the three workers are killed here as well. So this keeps getting worse and worse for GoRush. So we see the fantastic multitasking from Light, basically dropping the back expansion, attacking the front while dropping the bottom right. And this is extremely hard to defend against. And Light, obviously, even though his army has been reset, he does have a huge amount of army banked up at home, and that's a huge vessel count. And GoRush honestly has to do something about these vessels, because as the count gets higher and higher, it's going to be harder and harder to deal with them. Imagine how many irradiates and D-matrixes these vessels would have, and that is a huge army from Light coming in. Now, GoRush does have a couple of defilers, but honestly, a couple of defilers and like two lurkers are not going to do anything. There is also enough irradiates here to irradiate everything. So it looks like this might actually be the... Oh, okay. So there is a swarm, and Light actually honestly should move back. He's going to be losing a lot of these units if he doesn't move back. And I don't think he realizes it yet. I wonder if something else is going on the map, but I don't see anything specific. So something like mass vessels, plague, is a great idea. It eats away at the vessel, and you can have a mute, and with the bounce you can kill a couple of vessels with a couple of hits. So he is on 3-2 for Light. In the meantime, we do see what is it, 1? I think maybe 2-1 or maybe 2-2. So he does have a slight advantage with the upgrades. Oh, we do see a drop going to the base there. Now there is 2 bunkers there, and Light should have more than enough units. But it looks like he actually is aware of this coming in. Which the question ends up becoming, is it going to be a defiler here? Because, yeah, so this drop has failed completely, honestly. Nothing's been killed. I don't even think I saw a single SCV being killed there. So GoRush knows it's over. This is over. So Light should probably do a better spread, but honestly has more than enough, and that is a lot of D-matrices as well. So you can kind of see everything is dying to these Marines, and there is actually an upgrade advantage. Looks like it's only 1-2 to the 3-2. So I expected the GG very shortly from GoRush. He did play a great game to start things off, especially with the Mura harass and keeping Light in his base. I think his strategy was great, but once Light got into gear, he's extremely hard to stop, and that's his TVZ.